LimeVibe พร้อมและไป Lime พร้อมและไป Vibe LimeVibe พร้อมและไป Lime พร้อมและไป Vibe LimeVibe โอ้ LimeVibe
Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, the inimitable one, Yori Armin Camp from Nassau, Bahamas, along with my beautiful, wonderful co-host, Miss Kimberly Ram-Calawan from Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing tonight, Kim?
I'm good. Today here in Trinidad, it's Labor Day. It's a holiday.
Yes.
We observe our workers on this day. It's actually the start of the labor union movement.
Mm-hmm.
So all the labor unions would have gathered in South Trinidad today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. You had a good march as well? You had Labor Day march?
Yes, we had a Labor Day march. The oilfield workers and trade union usually has the biggest turnout because it's where our the founding father of the labor movement started, Uriah Buzz Butler.
Okay.
And it was started here in Trinidad. What year was it? 1973 was the holiday, but the riots actually occurred in 1937.
Wow, the riots.
Yeah, so there was labor riots back then, and it started with him, with some repercussions with the political parties, the British Empire and the Workers' Home Rule Party, and his party, which was the Butler Home Rule Party.
Okay.
And, it was putting pressure. The then rulers was putting pressure on workers' unions and, trying to get some kind of solidarity and movement happening in the country and workers' rights.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So we then we had a lot of industrialization because we had the oil and gas, the oil sector. We also had sugar factories that were happening.
Okay. So there's a lot of workers that need to be unionized, need to be galvanized. That's cool, Kim. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and our YouTube page. And there's also a donate link at the bottom of the description. Please, if you care to, please donate to the show. It really helps us out a lot. Please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. Yeah, so Kim, so it's Labor Day in Trinidad and Tobago, man. That's good. We had Labor Day about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we marched in the streets. Yeah. It turns into a huge pilgrimage over here for the Progressive Liberal Party, which is the party of long-standing and the party of note. Yeah, but does it turn into a pilgrimage for one party or the other?
It actually does. It is like a pilgrimage every year. They join at Faizabad, which is the home of where the OWT was formed. And their headquarters. They actually have a statue in that area dedicated to Uriah Buzz Butler. And all of the unions usually join in solidarity with the OWTU for it. We have the teachers union. The PSA used to be there as well, which is the Public Services Union.
Okay.
Other small unions as well. They join in as well.
That's good. That's cute. Does one political party favor the labor movement over the other, or everybody just loves labor?
Actually, it's dependent on what's happening at the time of the day. So they were actually speaking out against the ruling party right now.
Okay.
They were actually quite pivotal for for that party getting in power back then, because the leader Ansel Roger had joined forces with the prime minister, the then opposition leader.
Yes, Ansel Roger. He's been silent, hasn't he? He's gone quiet.
Yeah, but he usually comes out and he says what he needs to say on this day for sure.
You have any speeches from him? Did he say anything of note this year, or he's just what?
No, I think he just got them riled up and calling for no, they're going to withhold their votes when it comes to the election.
Lord.
So they're threatening in that sense.
That means he's still a PNM. He just doesn't want to give his votes to the UNC. Yeah, that's all that means. He just can see himself voting for the UNC and giving them the government. So he just telling them to abstain, let the PNM run their government on their own, That's how they go. He's a PNM.
usually goes. We know how it usually goes.
Yeah.
A lot has been happening here politically in Trinidad. We're seeing a lot of people crossing from the UNC to the PNM actually.
Yeah, I saw this guy, this Okihabu, this Okiaba guy.
Obika. I
Obika.
don't Obika. His surname is Obika.
Mhm.
I can't pronounce his surname.
Okay.
Tarahaka. I don't know if that's how you pronounce Taraka Obika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a UNC senator that crossed the floor with Rowley, and I saw a video where he was cursing Rowley that same morning. And by the afternoon, he was a PNM member.
That one, but the thing is, I've known him to be quite vocal, and he's actually a very bright person. He's an economist. He
Yes.
had good experience in the banking sector and central bank. He has a good bit of experience, and it's really UNC's loss for him to have crossed over.
Yeah.
If you lose someone like that, it's really sad. He was actually with the NJAC, which is he was with the NJAC originally, and then he stuck around. Remember, the People's Partnership was actually a coalition government, so it saw several small parties join up with.
Yes. I
And
remember that.
it was one of those parties, and I think he was from that.
Mm.
I'm not sure why he would have joined, because just a month ago I heard him at a press conference, one of their weekly Sunday morning press conferences, and he was chastising the government on their economic policies and what they were doing.
I'll tell you why, Kim. I think I told you this before, that Kamala is Rowley's stooge, you know, and they're working together. And if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. I know it's shocking to believe that, right? But those two are working together. That's a co-government there, and Rowley is probably cleaning up some of Kamala's mess, and Kamala's just keeping quiet on some of Rowley's mess. They're co-governing, man. It's always as plain as day.
Yeah, that's what everyone says here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're not doing anything really worthwhile to say, hey, throw Rowley out of power. You've got elections coming up, and it doesn't seem any way the chances are them getting anything more than what they already have.
Exactly.
But it's really sad to see him go in that sense. I mean, for him to do that as well, it shows that there's a level of frustration that you're not getting any headway in the party.
No, it's not that. It's not that. He knows that they're both the same person. So it doesn't matter. So if you're going to serve the same person, might as well serve the person in government. You're serving the same person. Doesn't matter. Rowley or Kamala or Rowley, same thing. You might as well serve in government. And he made the decision that, hey, let's not put on this facade anymore. Let me just go see if I can make some money with Rowley and them. That's all it is. That's all it's about. It's about him. And Rowley and Kamala, the same individual. Trust me with that. You're going to be shocked 10, 15 years on the line. You're going to say, oh, these guys are working on this again. You're going to be very shocked. Very, very shocked.
We actually saw that. We believe that was what was at play when it came to Patrick Manning and Basdew Pandey. Because you see them laughing and having a good old time together.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever they're in power. They're good friends,
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, they should be, because only us take them seriously, They are the best of friends. They have the same business interests. They talk to the same donors. They have the same mindset. These people are a lot more alike than we are, and we're the only person that are fighting each other down for them. And they're laughing themselves to the bank. Yep. Now, they may not be lifelong bosom buddies that go all the way back to primary school, but trust me, they're working together. They are working together. And this Obika guy, he knows the game, and he just decided he's going to go along with Rowley this time. He sees the inside. He sees what we don't see. And if you don't see now that Kamala's just a stooge, and she's probably being set to lose another election yet again, then I don't know what to tell you. You keep on believing in Kamala, believe in Kamala Prasad, but that's our
I mean, we know we don't see anything else happening actually. We don't see anything else.
I thought Dr. Rudal Mulal wanted to come into leadership. What happened to him? He got scared. I
don't think he would get the support. He has too much things on him. People say a lot of things about him, his character and his personalities, but I'm not sure that he will be a viable person for leadership.
Yeah, he looks kind of mean, doesn't he?
A lot of people question his handling of business and things like that.
Yeah.
Involvement in certain parties, certain things.
Yeah, he looks like a mean guy. He looks very mean.
Actually, in 2010, when she had gone up for the political leadership of the party, he had gone up and he had said quite a good bit of mean, nasty things.
Yeah, he's a
It
mean
was
guy.
quite a good bit of mudslinging against her.
Yeah.
It was very surprising. A lot of them actually said a good bit of nasty, horrible, demeaning things about her as a woman.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, when she became the political leader and elections called, they were all nice to her and they came by her side because they know they had an opportunity to get into government and have a position.
Yes. But trust me, this Obika guy isn't the last person who's going to jump ship in the next year or two. Trust me, there's going to be more.
Actually, he's just one out of many. About 4 others actually jumped ship in the last few months and weeks.
Yeah. I've seen someone else jump ship about 2 weeks ago, didn't they? Yeah, it's just one after the next. Yeah. That's an indictment on Kamala. Maybe all the nasty things they said about her during the run-up to the election was true, you know?
What they said, they actually said a lot of things about her being, it was not about her, they weren't saying anything nasty about her personality. They were mocking her and being very demeaning to a female, a woman.
Oh, okay.
Things about her. Yeah, it was not like she's a bad person or anything like that. They were actually very mocking. They were very much mocking her and put her down. I found it was very distasteful in a sense of grown men doing this to a woman.
Doing this woman you can't beat. You know, doing this to a woman that you can't beat. You say all these things, then she's still your leader. You know, what does that say about you? You're less.
She became their leader later on, and that's bad politics for you.
Yes, that's what it is. But let's switch from politics, man. Did you see about this new tropical storm Brett?
So you know, Trinidad and Tobago has a history with the name Tropical Storm Brett. In 1993, we actually had a storm Brett hit us, and 2017 as well. And both actually came from the south when they said it was coming from the northeast. And it changed direction suddenly, and it came from below. And we got a good bit of flood. It was not that bad, devastating. I remember it in 1993. It was a lot of rainfall. We had extensive flooding. Didn't have electricity for quite some time. I was just a little girl. And in 2017, we had a good bit of downed trees. I remember the winds howling. But right now, they're forecasting that it's said to go northeast towards more the Lesser Antilles.
Yes, going about 80 miles per hour, they say.
Right. It's expected to strengthen a little more, gain more strength in the next 48 hours. They're saying it's headed more west, northwest track. So we'll see how it forms and what happens. So far, they put it to probably affect landfall by Thursday at 2 p.m., I believe. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not too sure.
Yes, about 2 p.m. on Thursday is going to be a Category 1 hurricane. On Thursday, 2 p.m. on Thursday, and by Wednesday, it should be 2 o'clock. Wednesday should be a Category 1 hurricane. I'm sorry.
Wow.
By Wednesday afternoon should be a Category 1, but it'd still be off the Les Antilles though. For those of us who don't know what the Les Antilles is, what is the Les Antilles? That's St. Martin, Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, St. Croix, Barbuda.
Lesser Antilles is the Virgin Islands to Grenada.
Yeah, right. And all in between, that's St. Vincent and the British Virgin Islands in that as well too, right?
Yeah, they said the British Virgin Islands from St. Eustace, St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominic,
right.
all the way down to Grenada.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know these when we say the Les Antilles and the Greater Antilles, you know. A lot of people don't know this. Yeah.
Greater Antilles being Jamaica and Hispaniola.
Yep. Okay, so we just got to pray for our people down there in St. Vincent and Grenada. and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Hopefully they don't get the worst of the storm. Hopefully it starts. So this way, but look, is getting stronger, man. So we just got to keep our eyes on this hurricane storm, this hurricane Brett, this tropical storm Brett.
But right before Brett, though, there is another storm. They're saying they're putting it at a 50% chance of development as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's not, it's not just Brett, there's another system tracking right behind. So they've got an eye on that as well. Forecasters and meteorologists, the storm trackers are looking at that. They're saying that too will form probably in the next 48 hours to 7 days.
So I guess it's about time for us to really get in touch with those people down there in the Les Antilles, to see if anyone's preparing, and see what they're doing in preparation for these hurricanes. Because can you imagine getting hit back to back by 2 hurricanes like that?
Exactly,
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing this much that close. The proximity is amazing, and I'm hearing there's another system coming off Cape Verde as well. It's coming quite at a good pace and a rapid rate as well. But early start of a hurricane season, we have to be prepared. We have to be vigilant and make sure you have your supplies. When we talk about hurricane preparedness and storm preparedness, we talk about cutting those trees that hang your homes as well.
Maybe we need to get someone from Sedema on the show to talk to us about what they're doing to help these islands prepare. That's the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. Let's see what they got to say about it.
Making sure to secure your windows, your doors, your roofs as well. Securing important documents, your birth certificates, passport, things like that need to be in a waterproof bag, in a safe location. You also have to make sure you have those non-perishable food items, stock up on water, make sure you have your batteries for your radio and your torch lights, your lamps, things like that.
Yes. You remember Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria when they hit Dominica and Antigua? The talk was, how do we get people off of these islands ahead of these hurricanes? And I thought that was something that we would have worked on after those particular hurricanes, but it's proven to be more of a logistical challenge. It is to get people from, let's say, Antigua and move them to St. Croix, or take people from St. Croix and move them to Puerto Rico out of this eye of the storm. So that's been a bit of a challenge. So let's hope that we're not going to solve it this year for sure, but let's hope that it's something that we can continually work together as a Caribbean, and see if we could actually help our brothers and sisters when they go through that devastating. Because I remember seeing Dominica after Hurricane Irma, and that place was absolutely leveled. I mean, it was like a nuclear bomb hit it. There's no way people could live on that island. No way.
What's something that I keep hearing over and over is that as Caribbean islands, we have our electricity poles above ground. When storms like this hit, it usually knocks off power for some time.
Yes.
A bit of time. It takes a long time to restore electricity to the islands, to homes, to even shelters. And I've heard it over and over. Why is it we have not invested in underground electricity supply?
Oh, here's why. Because it sounds like a good idea, and that's fine. I can understand, because I thought the same thing as well. But a guy from the Electricity Corporation told me that when you put them underground and there's massive flooding, you wouldn't be able to get to the infrastructure for days. So it may seem as if poles are easy to hit, but the poles are also easy to get up and restore power than it is the underground utilities. So it's better to have the overhead utilities, especially electricity, than to have the underground, because there's massive flooding or there's debris that needs to be cleared. You wouldn't be able to get to the underground infrastructure for a while. So if you want to get electricity back up and running quickly, it's better to have overhead poles. That's what I was told.
I remember being in, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was an IMF conference or IDP conference with Teresa Turner Jones and this guy from Jamaica. And they were discussing this because, Jamaica had undergone some storms and power had gone out for some time. And they were asking, why is it we don't have electricity after so many years? Over and over, we face this problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the underground utilities, man. It's the flooding. They're concerned about the flooding. You wouldn't be able to get to the infrastructure. Yeah,
Right.
I know what you mean. I thought the same thing too. That, oh, why you don't put it on the ground? You know, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that at all.
Long. I know that actually in some parts, I'm seeing that at least in Trinidad and Tobago, we're
Mm,
seeing that some parts the electricity service is actually doing some things underground. So
mm,
when you actually have when you're building constructing a house right now,
mm.
it's no longer connected from the pole on the street to your
Mm.
home. It goes underground.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's
Okay.
actually started to change right now. It's an incremental change, but I'm guessing eventually that's how they intend to switch over.
Mm,
Some
mm.
developments actually do have everything underground, but it before they set the development, they put the infrastructure underground, and then it takes a while before people actually come in to start to build their homes. And by that time, people have actually looted the copper, and we had the whole
Oh, you have copper thieves as well in Trinidad. You have copper thieves.
have properties, but they've
Yeah.
put a ban on it right now. So they can't export. They can't export it.
Mm.
Uh, so if you can't export it, you can't. What's the sense? Stealing it, right? Because they have these new wardens and new laws where they're checking for.
Yes. Yes. Over here, about 5 years ago, that was endemic. I mean, my God, everyone was stealing. They were stealing copper from everywhere, man. You couldn't leave anything down. No infrastructure down. They were actually taking the copper, man. It was just ridiculous.
It was actually last year. What it's only a recent thing that we did in Trinidad.
Mm.
Last year, October, they passed a law where they banned it
Mm.
because it was so it was a pest. They
Mhm.
became it they were damaging fiber optic cables, thinking it was
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
caused a good bit of damage to a lot of our telecommunications infrastructure.
Yes.
That
Yes. Yes, that's what they were doing here as well too. That sometimes they like the telecommunications will be off. Like what happened? The guys just ripped off the copper, stole the copper from the box from the ball. Oh, that was a time. That was so hilarious. I was like, wow, they stealing the copper. My goodness, man.
yeah.
Good next. But speaking of crime and criminals, man, did you see that they seized $186 million worth of cocaine in the Caribbean just recently? I think it was early on today. The U.S. Coast Guard seized $186 million worth of cocaine. They're headed towards Miami. Ah, boy, I don't know. I was just saying, I haven't seen a large cocaine bust in several months, but now they found one, $186 million. That's a lot of money, Kim. Someone has to die, man. I'm not talking about some street level guy. Someone has to die. You're going to see some,
It's from the Caribbean Sea, so it's bad.
yeah. Someone's going to have to die. Some official's going to have to die. Someone dropped the ball. Some official has to die, either in South Florida or one of these Caribbean countries. You're going to see a MP just
Oh, jeez.
yeah. I see it happening because $186 million unsecured. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money.
Someone took them off.
Yeah, exactly. And for that to just go missing, for that to just be confiscated like that by the U.S. Coast Guard, that's a huge issue.
International waters.
Yes. You're gonna see. Watch. Give them another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month or two. You're gonna see some high-ranking government official be murdered or killed, or some senior government official be murdered or killed for the same cocaine seizure. And say, "Oh, that's what happened. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, you put the dots together. Yeah, someone has to die, Kim. Someone has to die because we know the U.S. Coast Guard is always in the sea, right? They know that these are defense force boats and the army and the military. They always come in the seas. How come this seizure got caught? This shipment got seized. That means someone dropped the ball. One of our close contacts in the U.S. government or one of these Caribbean governments, they dropped the ball, and someone has to die. Someone has to die. It's $186 million, man. I see it happening. That just doesn't go. That $186 million worth of cocaine, all the work that they did to get it there, doesn't just up and be seized by the U.S. Coast Guard like that.
We're gonna see you connect the dots in a few months or so, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then we're gonna report right here on LimeVibe. Of course we are. And they know what's gonna happen. When they see this video, they know what's gonna happen. They know what they did. They know exactly what they did.
A lot else is happening in the Caribbean. We have the OECS. They started their 42nd meeting in St. Kitts and Nevis on yesterday. They had their flag raising ceremony.
Mhm.
Dr. Terence Drew taking over the chairman
Mhm.
for the OECS this period for a while.
Mhm. Mhm.
They too are talking a bit about obviously trade and investment and regional integration among those island states.
Mhm. Mhm.
We have a lot going on with the Dcash, with the ECCB,
Yes.
Central Bank. So they're really pushing for that. It's really amazing to see how these small island states really band together.
Yes.
They're a little group right within CARICOM, right?
Yes. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, they've been like they are a separate CARICOM and they're doing their own thing, man.
And they've been in existence 42 years.
Yeah. Wow.
CARICOM turns 50 this year.
Mm.
So they're not too far behind. They've been in existence, doing quite a good bit for themselves.
Mhm.
They're one of the currencies that has remained stable to the US dollar. They've never really changed much. The EC has always remained around 246 or so to the US dollar.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they've chosen to remain that way for some time.
Mhm.
So I heard he's the Director General, Dr. Didicus Jules, talking a bit about some of the treaties they've signed and what they're looking to do with this regional integration process and things to enhance that small community of islands.
Yes. Yes. So they're signing international agreements within themselves as well, treaties within themselves as well. Wow.
EU as well, it helps them. They do quite a good bit with other with forming business and trade and things like that.
Mhm.
So they're a force to be reckoned with within themselves. You know, they've
Okay.
taken upon themselves to represent. Because if you look at the populations of those little islands, it's just Antigua, Barbuda, Grenada, Vincent. You know, those
Mhm.
little islands. When you look at it, they're rather small. So I guess they see the strength in unity and being together.
Yeah. 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 Band together because all of them together they couldn't make up the population of Trinidad, could they?
They could. I don't think they could even do.
That's how tiny they are. Yeah. So strength in numbers. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them, man.
Other than that, Suriname started their oil and gas expo this week as well. Today, they
Oh,
launched
yes.
their oil and gas expo. You know, they're trailing right behind with Guyana. They had oil and gas since what 1980 or so.
Mhm.
Starts their state-owned oil and gas company, Statsoli, has been in existence since around 1980 or so. And I think 2014 they started to see a little more happening.
Mhm.
They actually had launched bid rounds for about 6 blocks offshore last year.
Mhm.
For expected to have some exploration between 400 to 3,500 meters deep.
Mhm.
So that's good. I'm seeing things happening in Suriname there.
Okay. Okay. So they had all this oil underneath their ground. They decided not to do anything about it for 40 years.
I'm not sure. They had some, I guess, probably because of governance, infrastructure. They have a refinery, but I'm thinking it's the legislation. Today, the President Chandrika Prasad Santokhi,
Yeah.
a lot of investors are present. So Total, which is a Spanish company, is there. They're also supporting the drilling and things like that. Total is there, and they have a lot of
No
even
Shell? Shell isn't there. Shell is a Dutch company. Shell isn't there.
if Shell is, but Shell would have been participating for sure.
Mhm.
And, they have other companies that have joined up with them to assist in building up. But it's a quite large expo that's happening.
Mhm.
Last year when I was there, I saw how huge it was. It was similar to what we have here in Trinidad. So it means that they've got a lot of attention on their oil and gas sector. That means companies do see them as being lucrative.
Yes. 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 That's good. That's
And
good.
President Santokhi was talking about, he has been charged in CARICOM for regional integration and industry. I think he's the chairman of a new quasi cabinet portfolio, which is
Mhm.
industrialization.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. I remember that. Yep.
in charge of that. So he spoke quite a good, extensive bit about Suriname's role in that, and ensuring that when they do get this oil and gas rolling, you know, it will be part of regional integration. They say they're at that location to assist with their regional neighbors and things like that.
Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. And Suriname needs it, you know.
He is talking. His notes were quite positive compared to what we often hear, even coming out of Guyana. You know, looking to work with our regional partners. I know Guyana is close to them, so they will probably. But Guyana is also a young nation when it comes to exploring oil and gas. They too need expertise and help. Trinidad has been in the industry for over 100 years. It would be wise to lean on Trinidad's expertise when it comes to handling the infrastructure, establishing the infrastructure, establishing your training schools and setting up business legislation. What is needed is the legislation. So President Santoki was talking a good bit of how they intend to transform the legislation that they currently have that will assist in promoting a good business model.
Yes. And let's not forget that the Santoki government is the first stable government that Suriname had in years, right? Because they had a dictator beforehand in Boteser, right? So I guess they probably just never had a chance to actually set up things properly, but now they have a formal government, a real elected government, and I guess they can move forward with that. So that's good. Let's hope for the best for Suriname, because they need it. You know, they need it.
So it was interesting to see. I mean, our energy minister was present at some talks as well. Today is the first day of the conference, and so quite a good bit happening. CDB also starts their conference tomorrow.
Yes, in St. Lucia, right?
At St. Lucia. So the Caribbean is quite buzzed with activity right now.
Yes, everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. Yep.
But looking at the legislation, I know that Foreign Affairs Minister Albert Ramden in Suriname, he was talking a bit about it and was asking, you know, he was quite supportive of what President Santoki spoke about when it came to changing the legislation. But legislation often takes quite some time, and I really hope that they lean into that. It's lean into the knowledge that they have. With Guyana, they've had this whole issue with promoting local content. Now, this too goes against what is said in the CSME. A lot of people was talking a lot. We're talking a good bit about why you putting emphasis on local content when you should be actually opening it up to other business players that can assist. Yes.
That's true.
Now, I could understand wanting to develop your own economy and things like that. And a certain percentage should be local, you know, put that first. But when I think you shouldn't be so restrictive in that sense. And that was a kind of being problematic and going against the spirit of the CSME, which allows for that free movement across the region.
And that's the biggest sticking point of that agreement. You know, no one wants that free movement. You know, everyone, you know, people don't want other people from other Caribbean countries in their country. They don't mind going to other people's countries, right? So this free movement of people is really being a sticking point, man. You know.
So I really hope that they, being partners in the region, in CARICOM, they do stick to it and see the benefit of it.
I hope so.
I mean, I guess everyone is looking at Trinidad not being so active right now. We've taken a back seat because we have closed our refinery.
Yeah. Do you think that's a huge mistake? Do you think Raleigh just made a huge mistake with that?
No doubt. No doubt that was a huge mistake for our economy, because that was our biggest revenue earner. Just like I believe the closure of the Caroni, the sugar factories were a big mistake as well.
But I heard that the cost of running the refinery took too much than it actually was to keep it open. That's what his argument was, that it cost too much to actually keep the refinery going, then it was better to just close it or sell it altogether.
And that was because of wages, taking it all the way back to Ansel Roger and the trade unions. Workers were the workers really did benefit quite a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
High wages, the lack of efficiency and productivity because it's a state-owned company.
Mm.
It was, I believe, my personal view, the downfall of that company.
Mm. The high wages, so it should have been privatized, you say?
Yes.
Mm. I agree with that.
Because everyone knows the state company, everyone knows the culture of the
Mm-hmm.
workers, anyone interacting with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Too many people employed, too many jobs that were not redundant, and these people were collecting hefty wages because it's a vast company.
And don't forget the pension too, right? They probably had a beautiful pension scheme, right? Yeah.
Yep, and benefits and perks. Quite
Yeah.
a benefits and perks.
Yeah. Yeah. Privatize those companies, man. Especially he should just privatize it. Why didn't he just privatize it? Didn't he just sell it rather than closing it down?
Ideally, that should have been done, I think. But
Mm.
there are some other theories and motives behind it
Mm.
that I won't repeat here.
Yeah,
But
don't slander him. Don't slander him.
in Trinidad, and it's quite popular.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably get into that. I'd like to speak to Ansel Roche though.
You'd like to speak to him?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to me. I see how he feels about the oil industry in Trinidad and how he sees Guyana moving forward. And really, taking over Trinidad's place as the oil capital of the region, See what he has to say about it. He's an oil engineer too, right?
I believe that Ghana is way huger than what Trinidad ever was. I would think so.
Yeah, yeah. They're really siphoning off of Venezuela's oil. Guyana is really siphoning off Venezuela's oil. And they try to make a story that they're not doing it, but of course that's what you're doing, You're siphoning off Venezuela's oil because Venezuela isn't really doing anything with it, right? So let's stop all the lies right here. They show you all these graphs and they're not doing it, but we know exactly that's what you're doing. Come on,
Look at the maps and things. That's what you see.
Yeah, of course that's what I see. Especially since Venezuela put up a dispute. They brought up a claim that Guyana is in Venezuelan territory. Of course you're siphoning off of Venezuela's oil reserves. Of course that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think we're dumb? We're not dumb.
Because with the Amazon being a good bit of Ghana,
Yeah.
that would have caused for a lot of fossil fuel buildup
Mm-hmm.
and reserves within their territory. So that's what we look at. That's what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. That's what you believe. But something, speaking of fossil fuels, you could have knocked me down with a feather because I always thought that oil came from dead dinosaurs. That's not true. Oil comes from earlier deposits of plankton billions of years ago that settled to the bottom of the ocean. So it's not dead dinosaurs we're pumping. We're pumping up old plankton that was dead billions of years ago. Isn't that something?
Yep.
Yeah, I was like shocked. So this entire narrative that dead dinosaurs are what fossil fuels are about is not true. It's from old plankton, old dead sea material from billions of years ago that settled underneath the ground. So it's not dinosaur bones we're digging up. Isn't that something? That's strange. That's not strange. I was just like, wow, you mean the narrative that we were digging up dinosaurs has been wrong all these years? And we've been believing that? I was glad somebody had to tell me that was something different. I watched one of these YouTube videos, these YouTube science videos, and they educated me. They told me exactly what it was, Sorry for digressing and deviating.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it was just like, wow, so shocking, that has nothing to do with dead dinosaurs, but we call it fossil fuels. We should call it plankton fuels. Yeah, we should call it plankton fuels,
That was the easier word to be said, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Fossil fuels,
Did you hear that Grenada is looking to the African continent for tourism?
Yeah, and even us, we've been back and forth to the Africa XM Bank to talk to them about stuff. Yeah, so it's like they're making this mistake all over again. You know, God help these people, and God help these people. You know, I think our first show we talked about this connection or this reconnecting to the motherland. That's a huge mistake. Trust me. But they have marched down so many other terrible paths before in life. So I guess one more dark alley wouldn't hurt, right? You know, why the hell would you want to go back to Africa? You know.
I know a lot of the Middle Easterners are looking to the Caribbean, especially when it comes to the citizenship by investment.
By investment, yeah. I don't mind them. We don't have no real history with them aside from slavery. The Arab slave trade, but otherwise than that, I don't have any problem with the Arabs. You know.
No, I'm always cautious of being around them because of their religious beliefs and practices, and I don't want them imposing it on me.
Oh wow. You don't want Sharia law? You don't want Sharia law? Allahu Akbar.
Some of that here in Trinidad.
Oh yeah, you follow that. That's right. I forgot you guys have a large Muslim population.
Yeah, some parts. I heard that one landlord told a Subway restaurant that was leased out to them, you're not allowed to serve bacon.
What? He needs to go. The hell with him.
And Subway decided to adhere to that. Now the thing is that we have quite a good bit of a Muslim population as well as a Hindu population that does not eat beef. I mean, I am one person. I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. I only eat poultry, right? I don't eat seafood as well. That's for health reasons. I used to eat all of it, not anymore. But in this country, I think you need to have a level of tolerance.
Yes.
Okay, you're not having pork. Whenever I go to order a sandwich, I would say, please omit the bacon, right? Not all.
I'll do the exact opposite. I'd say, please add bacon, double bacon if you have to. You know, I'll pay the extra $1.25 or whatever it is for the bacon.
They're telling people to you can't sell bacon here because this is my property. I'm a person of this belief. Some of the listeners coming and they're telling us, okay, well, you can't dress this way. No public affection. If they see you in a hotel. Why is this person holding hands with their husband?
Yeah.
Things like that. I'm afraid.
No Sharia law for Kim. No Sharia law for you. Oh my goodness, no Sharia law. I don't blame you, Kim.
You're not going to see me visiting countries like Dubai and things like that because of that.
Yeah. I heard Dubai is not that strict on those Muslim rules, though. I heard that Dubai is pretty relaxed. They let women walk around the way they want to. I mean, of course, you don't go overboard, right? But still, it's not as bad as, let's say, Saudi Arabia. You have to walk around with a burqa on and a sheet on, black sheet on.
I saw that even Tabitha Brown, famous Tabitha Brown, she visited Dubai recently with her husband and family, and she told that she had to put on a scarf and to cover her head. I know a lot of friends. Dubai is quite a popular place for a Trinidadians on their oil industry as well. So a lot of our men and families actually migrate to Dubai, and this is why I'm usually cautious of it because who wants to be covered up all the time, especially in a dry, arid place like that.
Yes, indeed. Can you imagine these Western women going to Dubai for 1 week? They'll kill themselves. We've let a woman go too far though. I can understand why the Arabs cover their women up. If you see those women, they're beautiful women, Kim. They're beautiful women. They have to cover them up, man. Or else they'll be stolen. They'll be stolen by us. But
I mean, not being able to hold your husband's hands as well, in public, and that what's that? If I'm a tourist, why am I not allowed to do that?
Exactly.
That's part of enjoying a trip. That's part of trips.
One day is going to change.
Well, I don't know. So that's one of the things. I'm not sure how they'll interpret things, and it's to stay away from places like that if you don't want to get in trouble. That's just my.
Yeah, no Muslim slander though. No Muslim slander, but Abu Dhabi and Dubai, they aren't as bad as Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan, you know. They're pretty secular, you know. Now, Afghanistan, of course, yeah, or Saudi Arabia, yeah, you know, you could be beheaded for kissing in public, right?
Yeah.
You know, that could happen to you. Even Iran isn't that bad. They try to slander Iran. Iran isn't that bad either, you know. Before the Shah of Iran was toppled in the 1970s, he instituted a lot of reforms that the Muslims clerics, when they had the Iranian Revolution, they could not roll back. You know, like he had the Shah of Iran put in a lot of reforms for women, women's education, women's freedom, and they just could not. Women being able to vote, they could not roll all those things back. And they after the flood with gates was open, they couldn't do it anymore. So yeah, you go to Iran, you see a totally different picture of women in the Muslim world, I would say, than you would say, let's say, for example, in Afghanistan or in even Pakistan or even Saudi Arabia. You know, see a totally different thing because they're Persians and they treat women a bit differently.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I've been told. I went to school with Arabs and Persians. I didn't realize there was a difference. I thought they were all Arabs, but no, Persians are totally different people. The Persians. That was my ignorance when I went to school, right? I was so ignorant. I look back at my days and say, you came a long way, you know, you were a very ignorant young man. I met some girls from South Korea and I thought they were from North Korea. I asked them, say, are you from the North or from the South? And they looked at each other like, what the hell is he talking about, from the North or from the South? Oh my God. Then my friend told me, no one really says they're from North Korea, Yuri. I say, wow, oh yeah, North Korea is like, that's the communist side. That's Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-sung, right? Yeah, no one really says they're from North Korea. I said, oh, you're so retarded. You are so ignorant. You are one dummy. Anyway, they forgave me. They're from South Korea.
But yeah, I mean, we all started this conversation when we were talking about with Grenada pushing for
oh yeah. I started the ramble. I started the ramble like how I do on a Monday night. Yeah.
But I know that this whole African export import by the Afro-Exim Bank, they had their meetings, and this is where the whole conversation came up, you know.
Yeah.
He was putting, she too is pushing for this as well.
Who's she?
Myanmar Motley.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You know,
your favorite political leader. Your favorite politician, yeah. Myanmar Motley. Yeah.
They so far 11 Caribbean countries from CARICOM have joined with the Afro-Exim Bank.
Yes.
And they've adopted this Pan-African payment and settlement system. Pilot project. I can't remember what's the total amount, but about $32 billion in assets and guarantees.
Okay.
Have been put forward with,
it's a trap, mind you. It's a trap. It's a trap. I sense the Chinese behind that. It's a trap. It's a trap. Trust me, it's a trap. Trust me, it's a trap. Yeah, something's not right with that. That's a trap. They have their own problems. Why they come and deal with us? You know, you ever think about that? Why are you sharing with us when you have your own problems? You know, you haven't solved Chad. You have not solved the Congo, but you're helping us. You want to have all these trade and investment opportunities for us? Get real, man. I don't believe that.
Your prime minister is also there with her.
Of course, yeah, he is. Yeah, he would be. You know, he would be. He would be. You know, but that's not me. I see things a bit differently. And like I said, they'll march us into these things. They'll march us into these dark alleys and have no way of getting us out. You know, that's how leaders. Yeah, that's how leaders for us right there. You know, they'll march us into these dark alleys, into these dark corners, and they think they know what they're doing. They have gotten way over their head. And then they come up and they lie to us and they try to make poop into be, chicken salad, you know.
So they're looking for some full integration between the African and CARICOM economies. That's what they're saying.
My God. I know, right? I know, but my thing is, the overarching thing for me is why? You know, who cares? Why? You don't need them. You haven't even integrated the Caribbean yet with the CSME. So you're going to back to Africa? The people who sold us over here, really? You think they're that dumb? Oh, come on, you know. See you. I think you meant to start this conversation, Kim. You want me to start ranting and raving tonight? That's what you want. You want me to start ranting? You know, it triggers me. You know, it triggers me, right? And I guess the more I talk about it, the more I talk about it, the more they're probably going to go into it. So yeah, so let's not talk about it anymore. Let's encourage them to march on this dark alley. You know, yes, go into the African accent. Yes, go to the Africans. Yes, do it. You know, because that's how they are. You know, they some stupid. Anyway.
Dark alley. I want to hear you expound on what you really mean by that dark alley. What's going to happen?
Oh, they'll march us down into a dark hole where they get us involved in some geopolitical confusion or kerfuffle, and we'll never be able to just climb our way out of it. Next thing you know, there'll be all kinds of strange things happening in the Caribbean. Just like how it was back in the 80s when, you know, and the 70s when, you know, we were playing the game between the United States and Soviet Union, and we thought that communism, socialism really could win, you know, and it come to find out that it didn't, and all kinds of strange things were happening. A lot of governments were being toppled, a lot of governments were being installed and being kept in place. Yeah, the marches on to Dhaka. Same thing you do now with the Chinese, you know. For some reason, our leaders got us in the middle of United States and Chinese trade war. And it didn't need to happen, you know, because your primary friend should be the United States. But no, they want to show how they're smart. You can't tell us what to do. We're gonna, you know, take Chinese money. And now you can't get the Chinese out of your damn country now. Now it's turned into a big geopolitical issue. Now, who would have thought that Russia and Ukraine would have started a war and the Chinese would be trying to, you know, play sides and using this as leverage to go after Taiwan? Who would have thought? Who would have saw that happen? Nobody saw that happening, right? But then if you use some common sense, you would have realized that the United States and China are on a collision course towards world domination. You could have seen that from 10, 15 years ago, and you could have stayed out of that. But no, you want to play games. You marches on a dark alley. No, you could have seen that, Kim. Couldn't you have seen that? Couldn't you have seen the rise of China about 20 years ago? And didn't you see that the United States and China were on a collision course for world domination? Who was going to be the last man standing? You could have seen that happening, Kim.
I knew that from then. I remember my parents talking about it being signs of the times.
Yes, exactly. And these are our leaders. These are our leaders that we voted for. We voted them to be smarter than us, you know. We're the dummies, you know. We voted you to be smarter than us, you know. We put you in place to be our leaders and lead us into the right path. But no, you keep on doing stupid stuff and lead us down to dark alleys with no end.
My thing, right? I think all leaders are seeing it in a sense of, you know, with the whole talks of reparations and all of that.
Yeah.
And the talks of really connecting back to Africa. Most of the Caribbean people, you know, came from in that sense.
And I ask you, Kim, why? Why? There's no need. Why?
I believe that if you know, it's kind of like a healing path. Connectivity with if slavery did not happen and this, you know, this kind of colonialism did not happen. Do you think the Africans would have sailed across the Atlantic and came and settled in Caribbean islands? I know that I know that there's history showing that there was actually some bit of exchange in between. Like how the Amerindians would have traveled up and down the islands. There was a bit of trade as well. But to the extent as having a population like we do right now in the Caribbean.
But I'll tell you though, Kim, that sentimentalism right there is what got us sold to the white man to bring us to these islands. You know, that kind of soft-hearted sentimentalism is what actually got us sold, man. So we want to go back to the guys that sold us so they could sell us again. They want to sell us to the Chinese now, right? Or they want to sell us to the Arabs. Which one?
Right. And then just that, okay, how is it we could jump across the Caribbean because Nigeria is talking about going to Latin America as well, right? In order to jump across the oceans, it's not to leave out the Caribbean and the whole process.
Yeah, that's what they do. You know. But by all means, go with it. You know, like I say, the more I probably complain about it, the more they're probably going to dig their heels into it, and they're going to want to do it even more. Just to show us how dumb we are. Yes, and I'm dumb. I don't know what the hell is going on. You guys are smarter than us. You know, you guys are smarter than us. You've done a great job. You know, most of us are 80% in debt. You are doing a great job. And the crime is just under control in these islands. You're doing a great job. A wonderful job. The CSME is a stellar example of trade and integration in the region. You're doing a great job. You're doing a fine job. Yes. Relations between the United States and China has never been at a better level. You're doing a great job. You know, Haiti is a stellar example of Caribbean stability and economic freedom. You're doing a great job. Doing a great job. Keep it up. You know, I love him. I love him, Kim. I love him. Anyway, that's enough of my sarcasm, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you the minute I start saying I like it, they're going to start changing because they're so smart, right? So much smarter than us, right? And they're going to change it up, right? I know. You got to watch these Negroes, you know. You got to watch these Negroes. Yeah, you got to watch them, Kim. Got to really watch them. Anyway, that's my rant for the night. See, you caused me to rant tonight. Oh my goodness.
Fine. I take the blame. I take the blame.
Yeah. I prefer you to go to India, you know, strain some ties with India. At least they have something to offer you. You know, they have a viable tech sector that actually could help us, you know.
They have said that they have invited India as well as the Middle East. So it's not just Africa. They're inviting all sorts of people to come to our shores here.
Yeah, man. Go to the Indians, man. At least they have something to offer you.
The Indians are here in our region. We have the Indian Expo that's never closing.
Oh Lord. You know,
They're like suitcase traders here in Trinidad. They bring quite a good bit of herbal remedies. They bring the traditional clothing, which our population wears, because when we have a good bit of an Indian population here in Trinidad, and you can go and get bridal clothing and saris and your Indian wear at a reasonable price compared to going to the regular stores in the malls.
Okay.
What you would probably pay $2,000 and $3,000 for, you can get it for probably between $500 to $1,000.
Really? Okay. That's sweet. And you seem quite fluttered by that.
In that sense, you know, they open right through, and then they've also brought the authentic Indian food. They have, so there's a good bit of trade happening here in the region. Well, at least I know in Trinidad. I'm not sure how much they are suitcase traders in Jamaica and Guyana and Suriname, where the Indian population is quite heavy.
Yes.
But we do have the Indian High Commission. I've always spoken about it.
Yes. They're very active in Trinidad.
They're very active in Caribbean. So
Mm.
there's Jamaica and they're in Trinidad. They also have, I think, in Guyana as well.
Mm.
So they
Okay.
make, you know, when it comes, they actually offer scholarship for learning Hindi and Sanskrit, which is a written language.
Would you ever want to learn Hindi and Sanskrit?
Not really.
Mm.
I probably ought to. My grandparents would have spoken Hindi.
Mm.
I would have probably, there are some things you would pick up, and
Mm.
that.
But you wouldn't want to learn it.
No.
The mother tongue.
It's the time, and you know,
Mm.
from watching a lot of Bollywood movies, we can,
You're a fan of Salman Khan. I realize you guys do a lot of dancing in those movies, though. There's a lot of like group dancing in those movies.
yeah, well, that's part of the culture in India. They've done a lot of song and dance, and that's what makes a Bollywood movie stand out. You know,
Yeah.
stand out.
Every Bollywood movie I've seen, there's about 50 people in one huge dance move. You know, you do it more than the Africans do it. You know.
So it makes it happy and colorful and vibrant.
Yes, it is.
Something that the entire family can partake of.
Yeah, it's almost like mini musicals. You know.
It is. We've always said it. It's a few industries that you know make up Bollywood: the musical industry, the film industry, dance industry, the choreography, everything. It makes it all and splendid. It resonates in your memory when you think of a movie. You like the song that goes with that particular scene.
Okay.
You know.
So, Miss Ramkalawan, we have come to the end of our show. So, any final thoughts?
All the best for this new week.
Yeah, indeed. I hope the best for me as well. I'm going through an humiliation time right now. You know, God has me in a humiliating period right now. Everything's going wrong, man. I'm in debt. My car's down. I can't get it fixed. At least I'm going to get it fixed. So I'm trying to get everything done one time. So yeah, It'll come together, you know. But I'm going to go out for a jog tomorrow, though. Even though my car is down, I'm going to go out for a jog tomorrow, right? I have to negotiate the dogs in my area. You have to walk past them, you know, very gingerly. Last time I was nipped on my ankle, you know, but it was, yeah, I know, right? But I can't sit here in the morning and be up 4 o'clock in the morning, not actually go and stretch my legs, you know. So I live a very sedentary lifestyle, you know. I sit at this desk, I sit at my desk at my main job, you know, I sit down a lot. You know, the life of a reporter really gets you porky, so you need that exercise. So yeah, I want to get up tomorrow morning, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to negotiate those puppies tomorrow. If it's not raining, I'm going to negotiate those dogs. Hopefully, they'll be, you know, somewhere else.
Look up a repellent for dogs, natural repellent for dogs. See
I
that
know some repellent. Two rocks. That's my repellent. 2 rocks. 2 huge rocks.
balance at animals.
Yeah, I'm going to get them tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm going to get them tomorrow morning. But Kim, that's us for the night. So thank you so much for joining me again for another LimeVibe Live podcast. I just want to remind you guys, if you have not done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook pages. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube pages, Facebook pages. It really helps us a lot to getting our message across the Caribbean and across the world. And also, there's a donate link in the description. There's a donate link in the description. Please use that if you want to donate to the show. It really helps us a lot and keeps this message moving forward. So good night. I'm Yori Kemp from Nassau, Bahamas, along with Kimberly Calawan. I want to say good night to you and thank you for joining LimeVibe again, one more time. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Right, Kim?
Good night.
Good night.